Hello, hello. I am live. I am live and in action. Um, so I wanted to just pop in here really quickly to share with you guys on why having a launch plan for your offers, your digital courses, and your services are really important and why you may not be getting the results that you desire when you put your offers out into the world. I do have something to share with you guys at the end, so I'll pop in something that I want to share with you guys about marketing and launching. I'll put it in the comments at the end of this live stream. So for those of you who do not know, my name is Nicole. I started my business a few years ago. It's been a few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. And when I started, I learned a lot about digital marketing. I started working with just many course creators in this online space, and I learned like that they were doing a lot of different launches with their offers and services and just digital products altogether. And what I noticed was that they had created a process to launch these offers and they were really successful at doing it. And while on the other hand, there were a ton of other people who had many launches and put out so many different offers, but they weren't as successful when, they had their launches. And so I was able to see, what it was that these course creators were doing, but on the other hand, other people were doing, and it wasn't as a successful launch. And so there's such a huge realm of digital marketing. So I have found that the place that I love and where I really love to work in with just course creators and experts in general is to be able to help them with their launches and help them, get their message and get all of their knowledge out into the world and to be able to plan those launches with a certain process. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you guys was because last week I had a conversation with a guy, and he had talked about how he had created this course and he created this process for getting his course out into the world. He spent about 2 to 3 years and on creating this course, but he didn't really have anyone to launch this course to. So he had put his entire being, like all of his knowledge, all of his expertise, like everything that he knew was like put into this course. And he had spent like some time in the past on creating a Facebook group and having some engagement, but throughout time he kind of like lowered that engagement because he spent so much time creating this course. And so he didn't really have an audience that he could launch or that he felt like he could launch this product to. But he actually really wanted to launch something and he wanted to do it like yesterday. He wanted to make sure that this launch went out like immediately. And so then what I noticed was that there was definitely a huge disconnect on his launch process, on how he wanted to have a launch and how he wanted to get this course out to people that he thought would want this course. But essentially, I mean, he could technically try to revive the Facebook group that he had, but without there being any engagement and aside from him knowing that he only wanted to launch, he didn't have any plan to do so. And so I realized that in this process that he's not the only one. There's so many people that have just been led to believe that, created and the people would come. And that's just really not the case. It's not the case for everybody. A lot of people will get some success when they launch, but a lot of people, like, they don't just create it and the people come. There's often, like, there's a process to do this. Those two have to work together simultaneously. And so that's where I found that I'm able to help, creators and experts in this area when it comes to course creation is through a launch process. A lot of people just, they have the skill to create courses, and also they know what it takes to get their knowledge and all of their expertise out into the world. But then when it comes to the whole strategy part and the whole launch process, they have no idea. And, I love to help people in that process to be able to launch courses and, get those products out. So I want to share with you guys 3 different ways that you can create a launch process, which is really just working backwards from your end result to where you are right now and where you want to be. So the first way is actually creating content. When you create content and you share this content that's based around your course topic, and every week, whatever that consistency is for you, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, have a process where you're creating content for people to retain knowledge from you, for them to know what you're doing, and to get that message out into the world. And so there's so many multiple ways in doing this. There's, social media, there's YouTube, there's podcasts, you have emailing, and whatever, platform that you choose to use for this content. Just know that you're also able to repurpose this content. You're also able to, like what I'm doing right now is this live stream that I'm doing, I plan to repurpose it on YouTube. And then once it's repurposed on YouTube, I can take it and put it onto my website. Once I take it from my website, I can also put it onto Instagram, and then also use different pieces and nuggets for Twitter if I wanted to. I'm not really a Twitter person, but the content is there. I create it once, and then I can repurpose it for, different means. So, and this is also an area where I struggle. A lot of my clients, and then also just people that I know that, this is me being uncomfortable right now. But I'm doing it anyway because I know that the uncomfortableness, it doesn't always, it's not going to continue. I just have to keep doing it. And as I continue doing it, I'll get more comfortable in it. And visibility has just always been a struggle for me. But I know that if I can create content and constantly, do something, I'll get outside of my comfort zone. And it's also to be able to help other people who are struggling with similar issues, and also to be able to help them do something bigger, and which is launching their business or launching their offers, launching their courses, to be able to, do something different in their lives as well. So I'm here getting uncomfortable, and I know that, there's someone out there that's struggling with a similar thing, and it's possible for you to do it as well, especially if I'm doing it. The second way is to create a sales funnel. The sales funnel that you create is going to be the process that will lead people from all the content that you're putting out there, and just making sure that those people who are retaining that content and learning more about what you do, and just really diving into the knowledge and the message that you have, you want to make sure that you also just take them from Facebook, take them from Instagram, because when you're moving them outside of these third-party applications, you want to be able to, create some type of Rolodex where you're able to later send them messages and learn more about your audience, and also see what it is that they want from you, so that you can create content around what they're asking you for, and more about your knowledge. Because when you're sharing your content with the people who are resonating with your message and with what you're sharing, it's helping them out, and it's also helping you out, because you're not wasting time creating content that essentially maybe no one is actually wanting at the moment. So that'll definitely save you time in creating content and working around a process. So definitely a sales funnel. Have a sales funnel where you're taking people away from Facebook, taking people from YouTube, taking people away from just reading your blogs on your website, and moving them into your email list, so that they are people that you can actually contact on a later time. And then lastly, my final piece of information is just going back to what I mentioned at the beginning, is just creating that launch process, having a plan, knowing exactly what you're doing and when you're doing it, and then every step of the way throughout your launch, because there's so many different pieces that go into a launch. And if you have no idea, where you've never done a launch before in the past, You want to make sure that your tech is on point, your offer is streamlined, and that there's nothing in the way that's messing you up or getting you outside of that groove from where you are to where you want to be in 90 days when you have your product or your service launched. So it's also the same as, I like to think of it as a blueprint for a house. So you, at the end, you have a house, but the house started from somewhere. It started from this blueprint, from just a drawing before it even had the individual pieces inside of the house. It started off as a drawing. And so you can think of it as the same when you're doing course launches and launching your business or launching products, is to have something drawn out and something visual that you can see, so that you know where you're at right now, and then the process that you're going to take to make sure that you also have a successful launch. So those are the three pieces of information that I have. It's creating consistent content, and again, that's something that I'm working on as well. Two is creating a sales funnel, and three, having that launch process and not rushing the process. I do 90 days because I know that that's what it takes to constantly create consistent content, and then also creating the pieces in the middle before you actually launch your product. So I really hope this information was useful for you, and that you can take these bits and pieces and use them for your next or your first launch. So if you did find any information that was useful, definitely like, comment, and share, because you never know who else needs to hear this information and maybe struggling with the same issue as the guy that I spoke with, or struggling with visibility or anything. And so this was extremely fun, and it's been super outside of my comfort zone. And what I commit to today and moving forward is just doing these every week to constantly get out of my comfort zone and sharing different content with you all about launching, and definitely just looking forward to doing more of these live streams. And so as promised, I will add that link for my free gift in the comments for you guys to utilize and make sure that you have all the steps in place for your market or your launch, to be able to market your offers. So again, my name is Nicole, and I do help creators like you market and launch your digital products and courses and offers with a 90-day launch plan. I will see you all next week. Bye bye for now.